Hello everyone, we are from Group 2. In this video, we will talk about one of the topics in our English Semantics-Pragmatics class, which is the dimensions of meaning. The subtopics that we will discuss are: first, reference and donation; second, connotations; third, sense relation; and last, lexical and grammatical meaning. So please pay attention and enjoy our video.
We are likely to think that a language consists of a large number of words, and each of these words has a direct relation with something outside of language, which is its meaning. When we communicate with one another through language, it must be that we all have the same idea or concept associated with each word. Ogden and Richards, a mentalistic theory about meaning, called the bond between word and concept and an association, the bond between concept and object, reference, and the bond between object and word, meaning. When we hear or read a word, we often form a mental picture of what the word represents, although this idea is misleading. For example, the word door and dog. We can think of what kind of door or what breed of dog. Clearly, the meaning of door and dog is more than what is included in a single image, and your knowledge of these words is much more than the ability to relate them to single object. Now we talk about reference. So reference is the relation between a language expression, such as this door, both doors, the dog, another dog, or whatever the expression pertains to in a particular situation of language use, including what a speaker may imagine. Reference is also the way speakers and hearers use an expression successfully. The next one is denotation. Denotation is the potential of a word like door or dog to enter in such language expressions. Denotation is also the knowledge they have that makes their use successful. Some of the troubles from mentalistic theory is that not all words can be associated with mental images, and some words have a great range of meaning. And then we have no access to other people's mind. And words are not the only semantic units. For example, the sentence, "the dog bit a man" and "the man bit a dog" contain the same words but express different meanings. So meaning is more than denotation. Language furnishes the means for expressing a wide range of attitudes, which is called connotation, and the meaning of any expression varies with context, which is called sense relation.
Hi everyone, my name is Eko Dwi Prasetio and I'm going to explain about connotation. So what is connotation? Well, it is a further association from the concept of particular reference. In other words, it is something like a secondary meaning in addition to the primary lexical meaning. For instance, the word pig is likely to be associated with dirty, when in fact, such connotation has nothing to do with the descriptive meaning of pig itself. And the connotation of a word often change while its meaning remain the same. For example, in the 60s, computer has had the connotation of dangerous super-intelligent machine threatening humans, but the words still mean the same. What has changed dramatically in the past 60 years is the actual denotation of the word, and it is these changes which give rise to the change of connotation. It is therefore more appropriate to consider connotation to be connected not to the word itself, but rather to the actual denotation. Connotation also play a role for the semantic motivation of swear word. For For example, the conventional attribute of dirtiness is the basis of the use of pig as an offensive term for people, but the attitude expressed by the swear word is not part of that meaning. And lastly, negative connotation, together with social taboos, are responsible for what are called euphemisms, a roughly good or indirect term for bad or taboo thing. Besides, they are also at issue in matters of political correctness. For example, the word disabled being replaced by handicap, and then the word handicap being replaced by challenge.
Hello everyone, my name is Alexei Wahyudiputra. My student number is 121-811-233-451. I'm going to continue the presentation in which the topic that I'd like to discuss is regarding sense relation. Hearing the word sense, I think we can all assume that the discussion I'm going to convey mainly deals with abstract concept, or can be said as an unconscious process that occurs within the structure of human mind and language respectively. Now, let's take a look at the definition. Sense relation is the meaning of a lexeme based on its relationship with other lexemes in an utterance or sentence. In other words, sense relation is an association of a particular lexeme to other lexemes in a phrase or single sentence. So the meaning of a sentence is derived from the complex and reciprocal relationship within several lexemes that build up the sentence itself. Now, let's take a look to the examples. Firstly, we have two examples to show how sense relation works. First, Chandler broke the door. Then the second example, the door broke. We can see here that the word broke, derived from the lexeme break, has the same meaning yet different context to support the logical and sensical meaning of each sentence. It can also be syntagmatically analyzed that the first example utilizes broke as a verb that connotes a certain action, and then the second uses it as an adjective. To put it simply, the first example uses broke as a cause for something to be broken. The second means something which became broken. We have another set of examples that will show how sense relation works. Let's take a look in the two examples given in the PowerPoint. First, a happy kid, and then the second, a happy story. Now we have the same word again, namely happy, as an adjective. Although both of the examples have the same state, but each has different weight within it. The first refers to a kid who has or enjoys a happiness, while the second refers to a feature that contains happiness. Again, different contextualization. If we change the subject in which the word happy follows, it may change the whole context of the phrase. To say that story refers to an enjoyment of certain state of feeling sounds logically incorrect, while to say kid contains certain state of feeling concludes that the feeling is somewhat internal and eternally remains within the kid body. The nature of human and feature are distinct, and we have to be able to separate it lexically. Now, how can we distinguish or formulate in a way the process of relations that occur within language or our subconscious mind? Let's take a look to Ferdinand de Saussure's proposition in terms of this matter. De Saussure, the same to what he had proposed in the field of semiotics, argued that there are two relations that build up our unconscious mind in structuring language, namely syntagmatic and paradigmatic relation. First, let's take a look in the syntagmatic relation. Syntagmatic relation is the mutual association of two or more words in a sequence that build up a larger meaning. It can be a phrase or it can be a sentence. The composition of the sentence "Chandler broke the door previously" not only has a logical and structural meaning to it, but it also fulfills the grammatical premises that underlie the sentence. We can scramble the arrangement of that sentence, but it will be meaningless and grammatically and syntagmatically incorrect. So, syntagmatic relation is a relationship of each lexeme that constructs sentences' meaning as a whole. Now the second relation, paradigmatic. Paradigmatic is the relation of word choices that can fill the blank space in a sentence or phrase. We can change the verb broke previously to destroyed, let's say, in order to give a bigger emphasis to it. Or we can even change it to a more soft connotation, such as harmed. The lexical knowledge that we have in our mind decides what is the right word to use that parallels with our intention or feeling. The choice of words that we use every day is intentional and ideological. So, in conclusion, our choice of words are influenced by our own knowledge about lexical system. And to utter a certain sentence, our intention will be corroborated by our knowledge about the structure of a language. Thus, these two aspects will influence one another, resulting in a coherent use of a language.
Hello everyone, I am Abdika Taslih Amrullah. The last digits of my student number is 053. Here I would like to discuss the next topic of our presentation. It is about lexical and grammatical meanings. In the beginning, let us understand the definition of each term, which will appear in the discussion. The first is the definition of lexical meanings. Lexical means something that is related to the words or vocabulary of a language, which is also known as a denotation definition or meaning of a word. In other words, lexical meanings deals with literal meaning of words. The next term is lexicon, which is a mental dictionary that each person has and contain the definition of all words known by the person in his or her mind. The next is referring expression and referent. Referring expression means a piece of language or any expression used in utterance that link and refer to something or someone outside language. And referent is the actual concrete item or concept to which the word refers. In other words, referent is a thing, person, or idea that a referring expression refers to. And the relation between referring expressions and referent, it is the referring expression is an expression which describe or link to the referent. For more explanation, let us see the following example. Pay attention to the sentence below. A dog barked. In the sentence, a dog is a referring expression, and it refers to a referent which identified as a kind of animal, mammals, a pet which has few 4 legs and barking voice, and that is the relation between referring expressions and a referent. And in a sentence, the words which have lexical meaning is dog and bark. Those words stand as meaningful parts. Dog or the referring expressions a dog is associated with kind of animal, and the verb bark associated with an activities. This meaningful part which associated with activities called predicate. The next we will discuss about the grammatical meanings. The grammatical meanings deals with structural meaning of utterance in larger scope than words. Grammatical meanings is a meaning conveyed or expressed by the grammar, can be in the form of sentence arrangement, the function words, and morphemes. Next, let us see the examples below. In these lines below, we can see the same lexical items, dog and bark, build up the sentences that have different meanings to each other. The first line is statement and questions. A dog barked and did a dog bark? In these two sentences, we can see the difference of meaning as statement or as questions are determined by the arrangements of the words in the sentence, and the function words did and question mark in the sentence also plays a role in determining the difference between the second and the first sentence. The second line, affirmative and negative, we can see the differences is in the function word did and no. In the first, a dog barked, and the second and the third is dog did not bark and no dog barked. These two function words differs the two sentences from the first one and turn them into the negative form. And the third line, past and present, is determined by the presence of affixes ed and s. According to the grammatical rules, bark is a past form of bark, and barks is the present form. And the fourth line, singular and plural. It's signed with the article a to show that the noun is one, and article some and affix as after noun dog indicates that the noun is more than one in the second sentence. The difference with the sentence in the first one, which is there is no affix as after the noun dog, and the fifth line is indefinite and definite. The article a and the article the as the determiner between one sentence to one another. A dog barked and a dog barked. The first one is indefinite and the second one is definite.
The next discussion about lexical and grammatical meanings is lexeme. Lexeme is the basic lexical unit of a language that bears some related meaning. It is a set of inflected word forms which differ in their inflectional properties according to the grammatical context. To give more insight, let's see the examples below. First, go, going, when, gone. These words are inflection variation of lexeme go. Second, run, runs, ran, and running. These words are inflection variations of lexeme run. And then last, find, finds, found, finding. These words are inflection variations of lexeme find. All these words above were the set of forms from the root words go, run, and find. The inflections which affect the words based on the grammatical context with the addition of affixes, suffixes, and prefixes create the variations of these lexemes. That's all our presentation about the dimensions of meaning. If you have any question, feel free to ask one of our group members, or you can ask in the discussion held during the class. Thank you for watching our video.